Hello and welcome to Money Saving Snow Tips. I'm taking a summer break, but that doesn't mean that Money Saving Snow Tips is. Last year we had some very successful episodes that zeroed in on resorts in France. So we've decided to continue that this year, but instead look at resorts in Switzerland. Yes, they're known for their steep mountains and they're also known for their steep prices, but the resorts are all aware of this and they're working proactively to try and attract budget customers now. So there are plenty of options springing up. I'm going to start this week with the four valleys. That means Verbier, which is the flagship resort, and then Suma, Nonda, Brusson, Vessenaz and Tillon are all in there as well. Less than an hour and a half from Geneva, and Verbier is known as one of the true fur coat, uber rich resorts. Richard Branson has a chalet there, the lodge that he rents out. Fergie, the royal, not the rapper, has also got a place there, and it attracts a lot of money, but it's also one of the best known and most iconic free ride spots in the Alps, and the crowd that collect are at the budget end of the spectrum, so there are definitely options. And I have a theory that the more money you have in a resort, the more there is floating around and the more cracks there are to slip into. So let's zero in on it. To start with, how do you get there? You fly into Geneva, then it's an hour and a half transfer. All of the links on the transfer options are down in the text, but there's Alpibus, is quite a cheap one, and there's the train. It can be quite expensive if you're not a junior or a senior, but you can work around that and it's very, very convenient. Then you've got the train. It's actually, because the train stop goes right into the bottom of the gondola, you can catch the train, and I'll put links into two of the sites who will show you how to do that. When it comes to accommodation, Verbier, no two ways around it, it is very expensive, but it's also a second home mecca, which means that Airbnb is chock full of places. They may not be that cheap, but at the right time, as I always say, the more flexible you are, then the more chance you've got of getting a deal. So check Airbnb and booking.com. There's also the Map Hostel, which works really well. But if you want deals into this ski area, look at Suma. I stayed there with my family 3 years ago and we paid less than half the price. I think it was closer to a third of the price we would have paid in Verbier. Nonda is brilliant as well, as are Vessenaz and Tillon. The real winner though is Le Charbe. This is the valley town just before you go up to Verbier. The train stops there and the gondola starts there, so you're right in the thick of it all. You've got a hostel actually on top of the gondola building. You've got instant access into the uncrowded area of Brusson, and you even get first lifts up the gondola up into the main lift area before anyone paying top dollar in Verbier. Some very cheap restaurants and places to eat down there. I'll put links to all of those in the text. And as always, if you think you know Verbier better than me, please leave your tips in the comments. I'll see you next week.